So a cubic yard and a cubic meter are very close because a yard and a meter are very close. They're not quite the same, but they're close. Again, we're going to have to look on our formula sheet and see if there is a conversion between them. So we're looking for cubic meters. I see that 1 meter cubed, 1 meter cubed on my formula sheet says 1.31 cubic yards. So you have to make a decision. Does it make more sense to multiply or divide? If you're unsure, because there's two formulas, right? If I found that formula, but there's another formula that says 1 cubic yard is equal to 0.76 cubic meters. They'll both give you the same answer, but for one of them the shortcut is multiplying, for the other one the shortcut is dividing. And I find that with students sometimes you get confused. Which one should I use? Should I multiply or should I divide? You can't do both to get the same answer. So for 5 meters cubed, if you can figure out the shortcut, that's perfect. But I think this one, because those numbers are so close, it might make more sense to set up our proportion. We want to find cubic yards. That's 5 cubic meters. We know that there are 1.31 cubic yards, if I use the first formula, in 1 meter cubed. Multiply both sides by 5, and we get our answer to be 6.55 cubic yards. So in this case, for the 1.31, this one would be multiplying. If you'd used the 0.76 one, the shortcut would be dividing. Here we want to change cubic inches into centimeters cubed. Again, we look on our formula sheet. We see that 1 cubic inch is equal to 16.39 centimeters cubed. So maybe you can see that in this case, would you multiply or divide? No. So then set up your proportion. So if you're just guessing, then you'll have to set up your proportion every single time. Okay? Set up our proportion. We want to find cubic centimeters for 12 cubic inches. We know that there are 16.39 cubic centimeters in 1 cubic inch. Multiply both sides by 12. And we get 196.68 and we were finding centimeters cubed. Now for example 3 here, we've got cubic feet to cubic centimeters, but when we look on our formula sheet, I have centimeters to cubic inches, I have cubic feet to cubic decimeters. So if I'm looking at the measurements that I have, if I'm you, I'm thinking I don't want to use cubic decimeters because it's not a measurement that I'm used to. I might want to use cubic centimeters, but the only thing I have is 1 cubic inch is equal to 16.39 cubic centimeters. If I want to use that conversion, because I don't have a direct one from cubic feet to cubic centimeters on my formula sheet. If I want to use this one, I have to first change 6.2 cubic feet to cubic inches. So I first have to work within one system so that I can use this formula on my formula sheet. Well, 6.2 cubic feet is how many cubic inches? I go to my formula sheet again, and I see that 1 cubic foot is 1728 cubic inches. So 6.2 of them, again, you can maybe see that the shortcut here would be multiplying, would be 10,713.6. So if 1 cubic foot is 1728, 6.2 of them, I would multiply 1728 by 6.2, and I get 10,713.6. I can now change that 10,713.6 cubic inches to centimeters cubed. If you're unsure of whether you need to multiply or divide, set up your proportion. I want to find cubic centimeters for 10,713.6 cubic inches. I know that there are 16.39 cubic centimeters in 1 cubic inch. Multiply both sides by 10,713.6. And I'm going to round to the nearest cubic centimeter. So the answer is 17.5595, decimal 904, so I'm going to round it to 96 cubic centimeters. So sometimes you're going to get questions where there isn't a direct conversion on your formula sheet. Then you're going to have to convert first to something that is until you can use a formula that is on your formula sheet.